a little bit dark. Right, I'm actually just on my way to a date. So I figured I'm going to try and squeeze in just doing a video or a live stream just before it, just kind of talking about how my client sessions went last week. No, they were absolutely fantastic. I was so pleased with them. Just notified me that I'm now live. Now, it was so good last week, and it's been kind of nice to have a bit of a break this week, although I'm going to be busy again from next week. But the two guys did phenomenally well. One who I'm going to be doing an interview with tomorrow, he approached over 100 women during the week, practicing his confidence by giving them compliments, asking for directions, and even having some conversations which got him a couple of numbers, which was absolutely fantastic. And this was with a guy who hasn't gone on a date in like 4 or 5 years, or even like spoke to another girl to ask her out. You're going to hear his story very soon. It's phenomenal how he got married and then he got divorced 2 weeks later. Turned out his wife was cheating on him and stuff. And then he moved, and then the lockdowns hit, and it completely destroyed his confidence. And then he came to me, we went out, and I'm pleased to even announce that even after a week, he is still out practicing, but you will hear it from him rather than from me. And the other guy, who's 61, I think he's 61, I keep forgetting, it's either 61 or 62. He did really, really well, and he had very different problems than my other guy. And for him, it was more about just tweaking his conversations to help him to appear a little bit more sexual, just to build attraction with the girls, because his conversations were just probably a bit too fluffy, a bit too conversationally, and then the sort of thing that, like, you know, if you just wanted to sit and have a chat with someone over a coffee, or as we say in Essex, more as a bit of a chinwag. You know, he needed just some tweaks in his stuff, and he was already starting to do much better by the end of the week now, albeit he's got 2 more sessions left because he had to cut it short. But what was really great is that both of the guys recognized this same sort of thing that needed to be tweaked and proven to them, that by doing it is what got them the results. Now I'm obviously a big advocate of this industry, but one of the things that I really want to try and encourage guys to move away from is, you know, canned material. Things that have already, yes, been tried and tested, but it's canned material. It's content from people who have very different personalities to you. Now, don't get me wrong, for guys who are new, you have no idea what to say, at least saying something, even if it's not from your own mind, your own thinking, is better than nothing. But I get worried when you rely on it and you use it as a crutch, and you don't start thinking about what you want to say or what you want to express. And the thing that was really great, which stood out with both of these guys, is that many times during the coaching, as I was talking to them about how to work on their improv and their creativity, there was a lot of things saying to me like, would it be okay if I asked this question or that question, or give this sort of compliment? And I would be saying to them, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I've worked with 80 plus dating coaches over the years that have passed through London, whether I've been filming their YouTube channels, helping their businesses grow on YouTube, or just helping them overall with content, with building a dating coach business. Anyone that has passed through London has most likely worked with me in some form or another. But where am I going with this point? I can see it. I'm kind of got cocky, like trying to show that off, but now I can't remember where I was going with that point. The fact that I've worked with all these people, it showed me, yeah, that's it, that I am aware that there is at least 80 plus different ways to ask a girl out, to joke with a girl, to show your humour, to flirt with her. And that tells me that there's not really, well, there is going to be a wrong way to do it, but it's more about having the conviction with you expressing yourself. I don't care what kind of conversation you have. I don't care if it goes horribly wrong or horribly right. But as long as you are expressing yourself in a way that you want to, within reason, of course, I don't want you insulting people, then that is what the women are going to be attracted to. If it's your charm, if it's your humour, if it's your topics of interest, that's what people are going to be more interested in. I don't want you sounding like every other dating coach or every other pickup artist and anyone else that's out there. I want you to develop a version of you that people like, rather than essentially copying the alter ego of a dating coach, and then the girls are falling in love or they're being attracted to this person that you're portraying rather than the person that you essentially want to be. So I've also realised I'm just sort of shooting up my nose there. So what was great with the two guys is that they eventually realised this, they learned this, that they can express themselves. They don't have to say anything quirky, they don't have to have some crazy outlandish conversation. If they wanted to just say to someone like, hey, I like your vibe, that's great. That's perfect, because that is what they want to say. Or if they've got a particular compliment that stands out to them, then great. That is what I want them to express, and they did. And you know what happened? They were getting good results. They were having much more fun and engaging conversations, and they were getting better results from it. Now, okay, I'm kind of getting near to where I am actually meeting my date, but I want you to just sort of bear that in mind. Like, learn to express yourself, learn to develop your creativity, and speak to people in a way that you want to express yourself. And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record over and over again with this, because it's true. You know, you're not learning anything if you're just literally copying a coach. What I want you to do is just practice saying things that you want. Simple exercises that, like, I gave to the guys was like, with the compliments, let's say, if they saw someone that they liked, they had to use a different compliment every single time. They couldn't use the same one over and over again. It had to be different. So if you said to one girl, oh, I thought you looked cute, you're not allowed to say cute again. You have to say something else. And it just works on your creativity. And it's the same with, you know, the compliments. I've got an exercise that I give to guys where you have to start with a very simple, basic compliment, and you've got to make it more outlandish and more interesting. So maybe it starts off with, you look really nice today. Wow, you look so good. My God, you look amazing. And then going all the way up to maybe how epic you look, how spectacular you are, you know, all this sort of like silliness. And, you know, and there's an element of social freedom there. Sorry, I've got a bit of sweat in my eye. There's an element of social freedom there, but you are going to then work on that improv muscle and that creativity muscle. And then when it comes to that bit where you're going to have a conversation, you don't need to have a planned conversation, you'll just have it. And this was something else that, you know, I kept saying as well to the guys, was that I like my conversations to be filled with chaos. I love chaos theory. It shouldn't be calculated, it shouldn't be planned, because that takes all of the fun out of talking to someone. Otherwise, I might as well just have a chat with like a computer instead. Like, if I know what kind of responses I'm going to get and it's going to go exactly smoothly as I want it to, I mean, that to me is what really counts as manipulation in a conversation, and that's not what this is about. And the guys that I work with, you know, they want relationships, and you can't really have a relationship if everything that you're doing is calculated. If you know, there's a difference between knowing how to respond to an answer or to a question, but it's a bit different if you're just going into it going like, right, I'm going to make sure that she says X, Y, and Z, and then I'm already going to know what to say in response to that, and that's going to get me the phone number or whatever. You know, conversations need to be chaotic. Now, I won't keep going around in circles with this, but I just want you guys to bear in mind that it really is about just saying what you want to say that's on your mind, and then just expressing yourself with that. And you'll get people who will like you. You'll be talking to people about the topics that you've got an interest in, that you want to flirt over and chat about, and because of that, you will in fact meet great women. Sorry, I was watching my phone there because someone was walking by and looked a bit dodgy with a hood on. You'll just end up meeting someone who is just right for you, and you'll have the conversations again that you will want, and that will just flow effortlessly. And then you'll be saying afterwards to me, Daniel, I thought I was going to struggle with having a conversation, and actually it was quite easy. And that's what happens when you meet someone who's essentially on the same wavelength as you and has the same interests and hobbies as you, rather than you just saying stuff that's just going to kind of like woo a woman just to attract her. You know, there needs to be a bit more substance to it. And I find if you can just practice talking to people, you will absolutely get there, and you'll have fun along the way with it as well. And of course, if you're struggling, reach out to me. I of course offer coaching. I can't wait to do this interview with my client. Nearly said his name then. I look forward to doing this interview with my client, and you'll actually hear from him what the 7 days was like. And I've got a load of photos that he's given me permission to show as well. I'll obviously kind of like cover up his face and some of the girls' faces as well, because I'd rather give them anonymity, and everyone anonymity, because this is kind of different for purposeful content for YouTube. But you will be able to hear from him what his sort of like journey was over the week, and how it was more of a roller coaster. It wasn't just each day just got better and better for him. Like, he had a good day, he had a bad day, it went up and down. His mood changed. There were moments where like he completely lost the motivation. There were moments he was like frozen to the spot and he didn't want to do anything. And then there was me coming, like kind of like pulling him, going like, we can do this, I trust you, I believe in you, you can do this. And then he went and did it, and he was like, oh my god, that's the most beautiful woman I've ever spoken to, and she loved it. So if you want those kind of experiences, by all means definitely watch the interview once I film it and put it out, and also reach out, especially whilst the weather's good. Whilst people are wearing nicer clothes, nice sunnier clothes, the weather is kind of better, although it does feel like it's probably going to rain today. But I leave that kind of decision to you. But if you haven't already though, do subscribe to the channel. I'd love it if you can like this as well. If you've got any comments or questions about stuff, by all means please leave it on my videos, maybe even on this live stream. I know I turned the chat off during the live stream. If it gives the option to, by all means feel free to leave something afterwards. But yeah, if you're interested in having just even a chat and just a consultation, even just to find out if I'm the right person for you, by all means head to my website, check it out, use the Calendly link, and then we can kind of take it from there, because I'd love to be able to help people. I love this industry, I love the concept of cold approaching, and I also love kind of showing guys that it's okay to start small and simple first before you start incrementally taking it to a point where you're going out and really doing it to try and get phone numbers and stuff. Not everyone has that confidence to begin with, and it's okay to recognize that and just start at a much more beginner level before you do something a bit more maybe intense or challenging. But don't worry, I take everyone there anyway. So I've been Dan. This is of course my channel, That Danxiety Guy. I've still got like 5 minutes anyway left until my date, but I will speak to you guys soon.